The summer of 2022 is likely to see a footballing arms race for goal scorers, and clearly two names dominate that list. Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland are the two most sought-after players in the world, and everyone knows why. But what about the players beneath? It's not quite sensible transfer season at Tifo, but we're taking a provisional look at where the goals are and what the coming generation of forwards looks like. So, some ground rules to begin with. We're only including players aged 24 or younger, and we're also excluding anyone who's moved clubs within the last 12 months. So no Tammy Abraham, no Paulo Dybala, and no Victor Osimhen. And further up the food chain, no Robert Lewandowski, Harry Kane, or Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang either. Our list starts in Portugal, with Benfica's Darwin Nunes. Now, as a Uruguayan forward with long hair, it's too easy to compare him to Edinson Cavani. And yet there are some similarities, not least in the quality of his penalty box movement and anticipation, both of which inform his goal-scoring record. But there is more to him. Nunes is extremely quick, which makes him a threat in the channels and beyond the back shoulder. And he's a very dynamic dribbler, which allows him to beat defenders one-on-one and create shooting opportunities for himself. He's also smart. It would be wrong to describe him as a facilitator, but he does have some false nine characteristics. When he receives the ball in the penalty box, his instinct isn't always to shoot. He spots players in better positions and can operate as a pivot, and he's also, unusually, a good crosser too. He's a goal scorer, certainly, but also a creator of chances who should improve the performance of most attacking units. Next up is Gianluca Scamacca. With Dusan Vlahovic off the market, Sassuolo's Skamaka is probably the most interesting young forward in Italy. Again, he's a player of breadth. He's 6'5" and presents an obvious physical challenge, but he's not purely a power-based player. The touch and volley he scored against Napoli in December 2021 was illustrative of his technique, as well as his periodic ability to score unique and eye-catching goals, and to play with craft. Unusually for a bigger forward, he also frequently shoots from distance, and does so well. His stunning curler against AC Milan was a fine example of that. Plus, Roberto Mancini is a big fan. Scamacca has everything it takes to become a complete centre-forward, he told La Gazzetta dello Sport shortly after that Napoli goal, and it's hard to disagree. Scamacca has skill and dynamism to go with his size, his deft touches can be a startling contrast to the force in his game, and if he isn't prolific yet, it's easy to imagine him becoming so if his high shot volume and finishing range was incorporated within a higher-powered side. Staying in Italy, Rafael Leao might have been on our list, but he's currently more of an inside forward than a number 9. In Germany, Christopher Nkunku has had an even better year and has often been used in the RB Leipzig forward line, but he's still in the attacking midfielder or number 10 category for now. So is PSV's Cody Gakpo. He's been a standout performer in the Eredivisie, but we prefer him in a wider or more withdrawn role, and so he's not quite what we're looking for. Nor is Charlie de Ketelaere. We're not quite sure what his long-term position is going to be. Back in Portugal, Evanilson is better defined. Porto have run away with the title this season, and that's partly because of the now departed Luis Diaz, the form of Mehdi Taremi, but also the goals of the 22-year-old Brazilian. There's a Diego Costa-like quality to Evanilson. He's thick-set and incredibly difficult to knock off the ball. He's very good at shielding it too, but like the other players on this list, those aesthetics mask subtlety and skill which contribute to the creation of goals and the development of attacking moves. He also has a nice range of flicks and through balls, and he plays with his head up. Evanilson isn't a sure thing, and there should be wariness around any player who produces a sudden surge of form, particularly in a league outside of the traditional top 5. Nevertheless, his package of abilities makes him intriguing and theoretically equips him to succeed in most leagues. Back in Italy, Lautaro Martinez is already succeeding in a top-tier league. His combination with Romelu Lukaku helped make Inter Milan champions a year ago. Lukaku has gone, but Martinez's class remains, as do the goals, and some of them have been of the highest standard. The drive into the top corner at Anfield, for instance, or the gorgeous chest, touch and finish versus Cagliari. While others, such as a thumping header against Peru while playing for Argentina, or the stunning cushioned volley against Sampdoria, have also reaffirmed him as a dependable converter of difficult chances. And while there have frequently been murmurs about his need for the right partner, he has combined well with the new members of the changing cast at San Siro, with Edin Dzeko as Lukaku's replacement, with Denzel Dumfries on the right, and Federico Di Marco periodically on the left. Martinez has always been comfortable dropping back into the midfield and combining with supporting players too, and that makes him an ideal goal-scoring component even if he isn't quite a superstar. Over in Germany, Sasa Kaladzic has endured a difficult few years. A pre-pandemic cruciate ligament injury cost him nearly an entire season, and more recently, a shoulder injury sidelined him for the first half of the 2021-22 season. Stuttgart have also suffered through a torrid Bundesliga season, which has hardly helped either. But Kaladzic remains a big problem for defenders. At nearly 6'7", it's reasonable and right to compare him to former English forward Peter Crouch. In how good his first touch is, in how he's able to use his body to pin defenders and keep them from challenging for the ball, and in how clean his first-time contacts often are. He's also a surprisingly deft and cold-blooded finisher. One caveat is that he requires the right supply, and that, at his best, he often benefited from, among others, Borna Sosa's excellent delivery. But fully fit and on form, he could still become the thoroughly modern and very effective target man he promised to be. And there are others on the radar too. Within Wolfsburg's terrible season, Lucas Nemecha has shown some accomplished all-round goal scoring. Jonathan David has also developed within a difficult season with Lille, suffering a post-title hangover. David was averaging a goal every 2 games in the middle of April, not including his performances for the Canadian national side, for which his pace and direct style is an ideal fit, and who wouldn't be going to the World Cup without him. Perhaps one of the most compelling players, however, is Union Berlin's Taiwo Awoniyi, who has improved dramatically during his 2 years in the German capital. Awoniyi is one of the better pressing forwards in Germany and has the movement to be a significant counter-attacking threat and the skill and finishing range to belong on this list. And finally, Southampton's on-loan Chelsea forward Armando Broja is also intriguing. Still just 20, the highlight of Broja's season was arguably a run and low drive to score against Crystal Palace. But much like Skamaka, one of our main entries, he combines size, 6'3", with excellent technique. Southampton's season faded away in 2021-22, but Broja showed glimpses of considerable talent, which will pique the interest of plenty of clubs should his Chelsea pathway be blocked. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic is home to some of the world's best sports journalists, including David Ornstein, Daniel Taylor, Ollie Kay, Amy Lawrence and Rafa Honigstein. There are journalists dedicated to each Premier League team, so every fan gets the coverage they deserve, not just the big clubs. And you can try it for free now for 30 days. See the link in the description.